That's once I learned that, I'm like, it's gonna be way easier. Like 217-301. Got that thing on lock now. Oh. Yep, that's.
Recording in progress.
Still loud.
Hey, Miss Joyce, how are you?
Oh, huge.
This thing was working.
We have an infestation.
St. John, sorry for the stuff in front of your area, but Maryland University is going to do a presentation.
Yes, they're just charging the last few minutes.
Recording in progress.
All right, and I'm trying to get mine fixed. Do the exact same thing. All right, I got my life together. So we did better. Okay, there we go.
Hello, everybody.
Evening, Chief, how are you? Y'all ready? You ready, Mr. Brown? You ready, Mr. Brown? Good evening, everyone. Thank you to the Town of Fairmount Heights, thank you for attending the Town of Fairmount Heights Town Meeting for August 16, 2023. I'd like to call the order of the meeting. I'm sorry, got it a little backwards, but you know what I meant. Please stand while we salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Madam Clerk, can you call the roll?
Mayor Stewart,
Present.
Vice Chair Barnhart,
Present.
Councilman Leftwich,
Present.
Councilman White, Councilman St. John,
Present.
Councilmember Wood Dotson. Councilmember Oster.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. All right. Meeting rules, keep them plain and simple. Everybody will be given, citizens' participation is 3 minutes. However, we do have a presentation from the University of Maryland, which will be about between 10 to 12 minutes tonight. So we're gonna give her that time. We're gonna move down the agenda to approval of minutes. I'm gonna move that down to right before the reports of the council, only because I'm giving everybody an opportunity to review what what the clerks of the council sent earlier today. All right. Chief, can you give your report, please? Police Department.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, residents.
Good evening.
I would like to start off by, for the month of August so far, we have run 13 calls for service in the town of Fairmount Heights, none of them being in a felony nature as of the 16th of this month. Out of those 13 calls for service, 3 were domestics, 2 were check on the welfare, and the other one were miscellaneous calls for service, which means somebody responded when they got there. There was no body there to code it out. So when I say code it out, when they got there, there was nobody there. There was nobody to respond to as far as who called, and there was nobody who fit the description in the area of the call, nature of the call. So as of today, we have impounded 7 vehicles in the town of Fairmount Heights that were not registered through the state of Maryland. And when I say not registered, tags have expired in March, 1 in February, 2 in May, and the other dates were in June. So even with that being said, we usually try to give a courtesy knock. If somebody's vehicle is not registered, to let them know that their vehicle is not registered, they need to either get it registered and move it off the street into their own private driveway or move it off the street somewhere else. So once the warning is given, then we come back and the following week and ticket and tow. So this heads up to people in the town. August the 5th, the police department attended the community day hosted by New Abundant Church and the pastor, along with the council and the mayor, which was a great event. He is a new pastor at that church and wanted to make sure that he reached out to the police department to form a relationship for future events that they're going to be having, and we are proudly teaming up together to do some stuff in the near future in reference to the youth in the town and other drives we may have at the end of the year as far as toys and clothing items for kids in school. So hopefully we can sit down within the next week or so and come up with our next plan of action in reference to how we can partnership between the police department and the pastor from New Abundant Life Church. August the 12th, we attended the Community Day hosted by Prince George's County Park Police, where I had the opportunity to meet the Chief of Police for the Maryland Park Police and got a commitment from him for future events that we may want to do in reference to our Community Day, Fairmount Heights Day, or any other event we want to do on a larger scale at the park on Sheriff Road and Addison Road. If there are any other problems that we're having or anything that we need One of the things that I reached out to him was about the individuals who have the contract for football practice at the facility, which I'm totally for, and I think it's a great opportunity for kids to be active in football and different extracurricular activities. But at the end of the day, the park is a total mess. So they're going to be reaching out to whoever has the contract there to hold them a little more accountable in reference to cleaning that park up, because every morning Maryland Park and Planning has to come and re-clean the park up because it's completely trashed from snacks, sodas, some of them are beer bottles and stuff like that. So that's what the adults are doing while the kids are practicing. So that's also something that they're going to start having an additional officer who patrols that area on certain days when they have football games at different times. So we're going to coordinate schedules in reference to making ride-throughs at the park so it can give a better look. When we're coming in off of Addison Road or coming down from the district, coming right into the town of Fairmount Heights, that's one of the first things you see. So we want to project a better image coming into the town. And it starts with the people who are leasing the football field. And once they identify, then we'll make contact and go further from there. We also are in the process of bringing on a part-time officer who is in his final stages. He is taking care of range responsibilities right now, which will get him certified through the state of Maryland. Once he's qualified through the state of Maryland, then his paperwork will be submitted to the Police Training Commission for approval. And at that time, I'll sit down with our treasurer, don't kill me, Miss Walker, I'm sorry. And we'll go over the particulars, and Ms. Arumi, the town manager, in reference to getting an offer letter together for the part-time officer, which will be able to help us spread out a little bit more of the shifts that we're working here in the town. And this is, I don't want to tell everybody what kind of schedules we're working and stuff like that, but we are adding some overnight shifts to our schedule, and we already hear some evenings already, but that's the next phase where we get into where we're doing some overnight shifts. So you'll have an officer patrolling through the night through the town of Fairmount Heights. So as we get the last officer in place, we'll see a lot more of it. We're out here on some weekends where we're able to have an officer patrol as well. So, and that will conclude my report.
I'm sorry, Chief. Did you discuss the shootings that occurred?
I did not. So the last shooting that happened in the town actually occurred on 61st Avenue. That was the initial crime scene. We weren't sure about the crime scene at first. We thought it happened in D.C. So myself, along with Sergeant Morris, along with MPDC and Prince George's County Police, responded to 61st Avenue in reference to a shooting where we had two suspects, one in a white Hyundai vehicle and another one in a black Infiniti. The black Infiniti was shot up probably about 6 or 7 times, fled off of 61st Avenue, made a right on down to Eastern Avenue, and the car stopped in just beyond the 600 block of Eastern Avenue where another event happened at before. So the individual was transported to a hospital in the District of Columbia where he had emergency surgery. He did make it through surgery and is in stable condition at this time, but he is not cooperating with the police at all. So we don't have any other information other than that white vehicle. We have canvassed the town to see if we can get some type of video footage from maybe some doorbell cameras, but that stuff has not all the way panned out yet. So I'm working with Captain Tyson of the Prince George's County Police Department in reference to any other information that we can possibly get.
Thank you. And can you
present Mr. Pinckney's report? I have it here.
You just have to paraphrase it. Scroll up.
Mr. Pinckney is, I guess, under the weather?
Yeah, he's gonna be out for a couple of days, just trying to get a little better. So as we all need to sometimes take a couple of days and re-energize a little bit. So, okay, this is the code enforcement report. For this period, was 7 civil citations totaling $5,225. Out of that $5,250, $3,750 was collected. Billing permits for this period were 4 permits totaling $1,170.71. Business license for this period, we have 3 totaling $2,985. Rental license for this period was 6. Rental license totaling $800. We have vacant building registration fees for that period, none received at this time. Stop work orders for this period, stop work orders have been issued. Are we putting that, saying the addresses? I guess it's a public report. Are we putting the addresses out?
You don't have to.
Okay. We had 2 stop work orders placed on 2 different residents in the town of Fairmount Heights. Notice of corrective action was issued for 15 violations on this one property that needs to be corrected. I will not say the address. I think we need to put that part. As of Friday, August 11th, 2023, he still doesn't have a vehicle. The vehicle that Mr. Pinckney is driving is not working properly. The town, along with myself, are actively trying to locate a new vehicle for Mr. Pinckney, whether it be an electric vehicle or a gas vehicle, in the price range that was approved by the town council. So
It's 20,000.
20,000, that's correct. We are looking daily. I know I'm gonna speak for myself, whether it be online or I'm going to dealerships and speaking with other municipalities about where they get their vehicles, and then try to make the best calls. My preference is to get a new vehicle so we can have it fresh from the start and put it into our maintenance program so it's well kept, and opposed to getting a used vehicle. And if it's a used vehicle that's certified with very low mileage, that's also an option though. So, and on Monday the 14th, the Deputy Director of Housing Partnership Incorporated, Stephanie Parage, informed me of a tentative start date on the homes being built on 60th Place. Now, if you guys are not familiar with that 60th Place address is where I believe the old town hall was, and she is proposing to build, I believe, 6 houses in that space. I'm not sure if they're townhouses or they're single-family homes. Okay.
We'll elaborate more on
Okay,
that.
yeah, so, and that's pretty much concludes his report.
Thank you, Chief.
So,
All right.
Also, real quick before I go, it was the old church right on Jefferson Davis Drive and 61st, right where the daycare is, and the church right here. Somebody ran a car through the front of the old church yesterday. The young lady said that her brakes went out coming across 61st, and she couldn't even stop coming across Addison Road. So thank God there was no cars coming across, and she ran right in through the church, through the building. So she was okay. The building is not safe to go inside. Prince George's County DPI came out. They taped it off, they tagged it, and they are aware of it, and the building is not to be occupied by anybody. And from talking with one of the neighbors, the father who was the pastor of the building owns that and the daycare center. But I believe the father passed away and the son is in charge of the building, but we've had a hard time locating him and trying to make contact with him for some time. So I guess we got to figure out now what's the next move, because that building is not going to be safe to just leave up
Okay.
every day, so.
We can have a team meeting about that.
Yep.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. So the next agenda is the town manager's report. Ms. Aroni? Thank you. Be careful with all your stuff.
Good afternoon, or good evening, Mayor
Good.
and council members. I know I've been on vacation, so this is after the fact, so I have some updated information to present to you. So, in terms of administration, Ms. Priscilla Hodge, she's a CSEP participant. She started work on July 10th. So far, she's updated the Welcome to Fairmount Heights packet. If you have any information you would like to put in the packet, let us know. And she added additional information. She filed all June, July, and August bank deposit. Well, I'm going to say not all of August because we're still in August, but she did file all June and July bank deposits, and she shredded surplus documents in addition to answering the phones, taking messages, and responding to many requests. The great thing about having Mrs. Hodge is that Mrs. Hodge has worked as a town clerk for Brentwood, for the city of Brentwood, so she has experience, although she was still under the CSEP program. She brings a lot of expertise, and I think she can be able to fill in during the interim while we're trying to fill the position. Job announcements. This was effective September 1st, so now I have an update, September 1st, 2023, that the town clerk position became vacant. Also, the clerk to the council is vacant. After 19 years, Mrs. Tucker is leaving. The job was posted on August 4th. Correction, the Maryland Municipal League no longer posts employment or jobs. Over the years, we were used to posting our positions with Maryland Municipal League. That's no longer the case. However, the Maryland Municipal League Clerks Association, we're able to post the clerk's position, both positions, with the Municipal Clerks Association. But I did more research and employ Prince George's County, which is located at 8001 McCormick Drive. We can post our other vacancies there. So part of my time being back is researching to find out the most appropriate place to do the posting. I updated the mayor today. So tomorrow my priority is to get these positions posted. In addition, I will post it on our website, and we will do flyers to pass out in the community. There may be some people in the community who we may overlook. Staff evaluations, just a summary. I think I put a report to you that I will be conducting Mr. Cradle's 90-day evaluation. We completed the evaluation on yesterday. And the purpose of the 90-day evaluation, I guess I need to do a spreadsheet for you guys. The purpose of the 90-day evaluation is to determine if any employee meets the minimal qualifications of the position that they hold. So we got that finished. And Mr. Cradle will be also moving forward to prepare to do the evaluations of his staff. And this notice from Civic Plus, I think I need to have a side conversation with our treasurer. The town's website is powered by Civic Plus, as you know. Civic Plus powers most municipal websites. And they're asking for an increase. You and I have to have a side conversation and a copy of the email, but they would like to increase from $3,885 to $4,580. Mrs. Walker and I will be getting back to you as soon as we have information, and I'm sure she's working on the budget with you guys, so I'm not so sure whether in or out the budget. But I just wanted to notify the mayor and council of their proposed increase. We have our Public Works Director here, Mr. Cradle. Mr. Cradle, you've done a wonderful job so far. And I would like to say, you have to be careful when you do blanket statements. I always tell him about careful communications. Okay, so Mr. Cradle, he's worked hard, Public Works, the removal of grass from sidewalks followed by spraying of all joints and openings. Also important, upcoming in mid-September is the annual inspection of the trash truck. This is required to obtain a waste license. I'm so thank you for making certain that that happens. He installed, very creative, he installed a vinyl lettering and logo on, I have on one police vehicle, but now you've done it on, still only one vehicle? Okay, and then you also working to install them on the town Public Works trucks. We are getting price quotes for, this is done, so I said some of this is in the past tense. Getting price quotes for the exterior town hall signs, so I think you guys have that, thanks to the treasurer and Mr. Cradle. And I said upcoming, sand and stain the flower bed. By the time I got back, he had stained the flower beds. Have you seen it? It looks, you need to drive by and look at the flower bed. I like anything in natural wood tones and natural, so he wants to stain it, but we would like to leave it as close to natural. It makes the building look beautiful. That new sign out there for the police department and the work you've done make the entire town hall look really great. I want to thank Public Works for their participation in National Night Out. I would like to thank the mayor and council and the chief. Wonderful, one of the best nights that I've attended. Did a good job. Okay, something important. I put this in my report the last time. The Prince George's County Department of Public Works and Transportation is updating its 5-year plan. Did y'all know about that? Okay, so I'm going to remind you, and I'll get with Ms. Lethbridge on this too. The Prince George's County Department of Public Works and Transportation is updating its 5-year plan. The council is required to designate one individual and one alternate member by August 9th. I think we missed that, but we can go back and still do that.
Actually, I sent out the email on that for, Mr. Cradle and I to go.
Oh, the two of you guys going, okay, that's fine. Okay, so I'll make a note of that. So Mr. Cradle and Vice Chair. Okay, thank you. I'll make a note of that too. Okay, the last time we met, we talked about the Neighborhood Design Center MOU. It's been signed. Okay, the Neighborhood Design MOU was signed. Mr. Cradle and I, now that I'm back, we will commence working, and I can't leave out, certainly our treasurer, because we may have to get some price quotes and some other information. This is for the $10,000 grant that we received from PEPCO. And so the chief started talking about net zero housing initiative partnership. I think the last conversation, you probably have a more recent update than I have in terms of when we're having the groundworking.
Yes.
Okay, so you can see that in your report. So I'm not going to talk about that upcoming event. And that's basically all that I have. We have, again, we're moving forward, we're making progress, and we have a good Public Works team that's really working hard. That's all.
Thank you. The next report is from our treasurer.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, citizens, staff, residents. I'm reporting for the month of July. This is the first month of our new fiscal year 24. Our budget was approved pretty early this year, so we kind of hit the ground running at the end of the fiscal year and then for July. So our total revenue budget for the year is $1.1 million. As of the end of July, we have spent a little over $20,000. We've received a little over $20,000, I'm sorry. Our expense budget is $1,088,000, and in July we spent $39,000. As I mentioned in the meeting, the summer months are our most difficult time because that's when we have the least amount of revenue that we receive. So we are blessed that we have carryover, we have surplus from previous months, but it's important that we continue to make sure that we are good stewards of everything that we are responsible for. I would point out that we do have 3 loans, 3 vehicles that we're currently paying for, two of which will be paid off in 2025. That will be the dump truck, which will be paid off in February 2025. The trash truck will be paid off in July of 2025, and we also have a new pickup truck that will be paid off in 2028. Mr. Cradle has been doing a wonderful job to make sure that all of the service is being done on the vehicles to make sure that we are keeping them up. I do believe we're moving forward with our fleet maintenance for all of our vehicles. So now all of our vehicles will be maintained by Prince George's County, which will save us some money, and also we'll be able to have more consistency in what we're doing with our vehicles. We have approved certain items to be purchased with our ARPA funds. One item in particular is our leaf vacuum and our street sweeper. Mr. Cradle and I would like to move forward with purchasing that leaf vacuum. We do have to come back to you, and we will do that within the next couple of weeks to let you know exactly which one we propose to purchase. But the biggest concern we have right now is how we're going to store it, where we're going to store it. It's not a small piece of equipment. It's a very expensive piece of equipment, and we know that we are not going to be good stewards if we have nowhere to store that. So we need to have some conversations about how we're going to store that. It's quite possible that we may have to find some temporary storage for it in the beginning until we have something permanent that we can store it in. Because in addition to that leaf vacuum / street sweeper, we have been approved to purchase another lawnmower. We're going to need somewhere to store that, to store our extra equipment. Because again, the ARPA funds are a blessing, but we need to also continue to be a blessing and be good stewards. So we have to take care of our equipment. So we don't have that answer. We've been tossing things around, but all we can do is toss it around. We can't make any final decisions. I am aware that in the meeting that I wasn't at, I'm approved to purchase the code enforcement car. I've been approved for $20,000. I do thank you for that. I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to purchase a new vehicle, so I want you all to consider maybe we would use the $20,000 towards the purchase of a vehicle. So we would only be financing part of it versus the whole thing. Let's talk about it. I did send, Councilmember White had asked me for some information, and I think I gave it to you all at the last meeting. I thought I did, but if I didn't, I emailed it to Ms. White, a couple quotes for a Chevy Bolt. Bolt. That's a vehicle. Electric car, yes. That was a vehicle that Councilmember White asked me to take a look at. Councilmember Vice Chair Barnhart, you asked me to give you some information on, was it a time clock? What did you ask me to give you? What did I send you information on?
I forgot.
I forgot too, but I need to make sure we finalize that.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to make sure we finalize all of our purchases. I would like to finalize them if we can between now and September, because once the fall starts, it is so busy. It's hard to really get to things. We do have our body cameras. Do we have all four of them now, Mr. Chief? We have our 4 body cameras. So those are the main things that I have going on right now, which is trying to finalize all the things that you all have approved us for, get those items purchased, because then at that point, we'll know what funding we still have from ARPA. I know that you all did a reallocation of some of the funds, and then we'll be able to make final decisions about what to do with that money, so that we stay in compliance with the requirements of the ARPA funding as well. Okay. So that's the main things I wanted to share tonight.
Does anybody have any questions for the treasurer? Thank you, Susan.
Thank you.
All right. So we're moving down the agenda under old business, ethics follow-up. Councilmember Woodata?
Yes, I have the information for you, everything that you would need as far as what is said in the charter and the code of ordinance. All that is done by way of the mayor. This is the information you would need to research it. You would bring it back to the council, and the council will pick the ethics board.
Okay.
And that's by the ruling of the charter as well as the ordinances that is in compliance that we, use. That's the information you need.
How soon do you want to, what is the next steps? Do we have to send out a flyer? Like, what is our next steps?
It's all there. You could put it out in regard to either a flyer or on the website, but it comes to you first, whatever. You're more it wouldn't be me to even make a decision. I had to read through it, to critique it, to understand. I can't. If you read through it, even in regard to what's written within the charter, you do it. This is the steps, so.
Oh, but you can still prepare everything and present it to me, right? Because
This is it. No, I can't do anything. All has to be done by the mayor.
no, all the documentation doesn't have to be done by the mayor. I mean, that can be
It
presented to me
always
for
has,
review.
yes, it's in the charter.
I understand, but I would prefer that all information be provided for me for review and for legal review, and then we can go out and
Then if
take the
you want
necessary
legal
steps.
review, it would be the attorney you would have to.
Right.
I'm a council member with one vote, like everybody here. You asked me to find the information that would give you the
Right, but we need the
waywardness.
policy document. This is just what's in the.
That's all I got.
Okay.
So if it's another step, then maybe I'm gonna give one to each council member, being that they're more computer savvy than I am. I got what I could find. It might be something hidden within, being that they're younger, and might be able to help me as well. Because in my 18 years, what I'm giving you is what was always given to me.
Right.
And all of us as a whole. It's never been a council member. It says in the charter, the mayor.
The
And
mayor
she
would-
brings it back to the council. So
Yeah.
the information,
But I'm requesting assistance with this one.
the citizens,
No, my council members
Oh,
to help me
okay.
set this up correctly.
I started, like I said, the rest is on the younger
Well,
one.
but it's your agenda item, so I'm just asking
I'm
that you
giving you
follow
what
up
I could
and-
find. That's what I'm saying. I've been saying it ongoing, that when it comes to computer savvy, I'm born in 1949. Everybody's sitting here with a computer.
Who would
That
you-
tells
Who
it.
would you like on the council to assist you with this? Maybe
All
we can get
of
some
them.
volunteers.
Every last
Does
one.
anybody want to assist Councilwoman Wood Dawson with creating the policy documents associated with the ethics board?
So we're going against the charter.
We're not going against it, Ms. Wood Dawson, but, I mean, we just can't provide this to the people and say, here, this is what you follow. It has to be some other written documentation to support
That's
this.
why I'm giving you a chance to read this. This is what was compiled.
Okay.
It wouldn't be the ordinance and all that they would have to deal with. That's on us as a council. Those are governing rules. What could be compiled was right here, understanding the rules of the Ethics Commission.
Was this document ever approved? Because it looks like it's
That's what we've
prepared
been
by
doing.
Barbara Hawk.
It's been what the town has gone by since I got here
Okay.
in 2005.
All right, so I guess we can table this until we've all had an opportunity to review it, and then I guess we'll figure out what the next step is from that. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just saying, what we're trying to do is not so much my being okay, but the ethics board is hand in hand with our charter.
I understand.
So that would give us better clarity, even for what we're doing right now, going back and forth. Once everybody get a chance to understanding the rules of the Ethics Commission, then maybe the door, or what you're asking for, can be composited by, and it would give them a chance to really go in to see what is the ruling of the charter.
Okay. So, I would ask that we table this until we've had opportunity to all review and come back with comments, questions, or concerns. Does the council agree?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And we'll follow up. We'll follow up at next month's town meeting. All right. The next agenda item is, the retreat, and this is, again, Councilwoman Wood Dawson.
Okay. Tom Reynolds, that is with MML is sending me a list, the delegate from the 24th Legislative District, Ms. Woods, she's willing to do it, so that's one that is already ready to do what we're asking, to set up a retreat. So we can either wait for Tom Reynolds or Ms. Woods is available. We need to give her a time frame of when we might want to do it. A weekend or evening,
All right.
here, away.
Is there a cost associated with it?
Right now, she would tell me more when we can decide a date.
Okay, what,
Because even Tom Reynolds said those that he gets, some will do it, come out and do it, because it's more or less mentoring when they come in to get, it's more or less helping to make everybody work on one accord and have the respect of the charter, the articles, and like the question you just asked me about Ethics Commission. It'll put us more on one accord on how to flow.
okay. And just for my own information, what type of things would they be doing?
It gives, in all my time of being here, we went to two. The last one was in Boyd, and they gave us a chance to sit together. Kind of, during that time, it wasn't no cohesiveness or collectiveness in working together. It was more chaotic, and they tried to do bullying, giving interjection on how a government runs, the understanding of your titles, the meaning of words like liaison, the specifics of your role as far as being an overseer over, the different, like public works, the police department. We don't run the police department, but we do have insight or some one-on-one as a council person to bring back on behalf. The retreat kind of strengthened the individual to know what you're doing.
And what preferred date would they want?
They're asking, what do you want? They can kind of,
Okay.
how soon?
So can you send out an email to I'm sorry,
I'll get somebody to what?
to inquire what's a good date for the council so that we can
Okay.
schedule a retreat?
All right,
And make sure you find out if there's a cost associated
I
with
will.
it. Thank you. All right. Any questions for Councilwoman Wood Dotson about the retreat or the ethics board? All right. Under new business, I have Blaine from the University of Maryland. She's going to do a brief presentation on the air quality device
Yeah, quality
monitor.
monitoring.
This is kind of makeshift, so if you have to adjust your seats, please do.
Okay, good evening, residents and mayor and council members of Fairmount Heights. It's right here. I am a PhD student at the University of Maryland, but specifically within the Center for Community Engagement, Environmental Justice and Health. And today I'm going to talk about a proposed project to create a network around air quality monitoring in Fairmount Heights and Sea Pleasant, but today specifically about Fairmount Heights. So firstly, as I mentioned, we are within the University of Maryland, but the Center for Community Engagement, Environmental Justice and Health, or CEGE, work independently, and we work towards revolutionizing academic research. And we take our engagement with communities seriously, and we believe in true participation with our communities that we work with, from the beginning of research, from the inception of the research idea to the very end of disseminating and of turning those results into action that's meaningful to the community. And so SIEGE was founded in 2011 by Director Dr. Shakobi Wilson, who you see here. And the goal of SIEGE is to provide technical assistance to communities, specifically through a method called community-based participatory research, or CBPR. And this is a method, as I mentioned, where we collaborate with community members and train residents who are impacted by poor air, contaminated water, and soil pollution, and many other environmental hazards to become community scientists themselves. So the problem I come to you today in which we want to resolve or come close to is about pollution. So polluting facilities and different polluting industries have been historically cited in already environmentally burdened communities of color due to the limited perceived community resistance and mobilization. And we see this as a blatant case of environmental racism. So because of this, and because of the lack of participation and collaboration with community members that are impacted, there is a gap in our understanding of the health inequities associated with these exposure to these pollutants. In particular, what I'll be talking about today is fine particulate matter, or PM 2.5. So we are essentially talking about air pollution today, but the way that it is measured and what you see on the day-to-day in your weather map, if you were to go on and see what the air quality is like, it's based off of an air quality index, or AQI. So that is a measurement of how clean or polluted the air is. So you usually see a color scale like this, good meaning green, and all the way down to maroon being hazardous. During the height of the wildfires that happened in Canada that came over the Mid-Atlantic region, we did see at a moment the AQI was at this maroon hazardous color. And as I mentioned, there are various pollutants as it pertains to air pollution, like ozone, carbon monoxide, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and particulate matter, which we focus on with our project. So particulate matter is classified by two main sizes based on the size in micrometers of this of the particle. So there's PM10, which is usually found among larger dust and pollen particles that can get caught up in your upper respiratory system, like when you have pollen and you get an allergy attack or you want to sneeze. They are easily caught in the upper respiratory system, like in your nose, so you're easily able to get them out of your body quickly. But PM 2.5 is a particle that's 2.5 micrometers, so it's so small, it's finer than and smaller than a strand of hair, as you see. That can get inhaled into your lower respiratory system and absorbed into your bloodstream, and from there cause a cascade of different health issues relating to air pollution. And black carbon, I'll add, is another type of PM 2.5, but specifically coming from diesel engines and wildfires. So this is something to be of concern if there are a lot of trucks passing through the area that you're living in. So if you have a moment or you'd like to see what the air quality is like where you are, you can go to this website. And this is based off of a federal monitor. So the EPA cite their own really big and expensive air monitors throughout different states, but they don't spread them out fairly and enough throughout communities where it really matters in how we should be monitoring how the air quality is. But if you go on and look, you can see this is the value that you see right now for Fairmount Heights is probably based off of a monitor that's about 20 miles away from here. So just to give you a perspective. I think the closest one is in Beltsville. Yeah. So, as I mentioned, government sensors, they are very precise, but they're few and far away from where we are most of the time. And we've seen in studies that PM 2.5 levels can change from block to block. Like you can see a difference of 200 to 400%. So it matters to be able to see what's going on in a high resolution way, being able to have them in multiple places. So the solution that we're proposing are low-cost monitors. And specifically what we have are purple air monitors right here. I don't know if you guys want to pass them around to see. So purple air monitors are able to capture particulate matter in real time. All that's required is stable Wi-Fi and an external power supply. And they can be attached to any fixture on the outside of your home or any place with either a zip tie, or you can power tool them if that is allowed, if you prefer that. And we also have recently got monitors to capture black carbon, but that's a new segment of the project that we don't have to focus on for today. So purple airs, if you yourself want to get one, they are pretty affordable in terms of how expensive air monitors can go. They can go to like $10,000s. So these are meant for everyday people to be able to install at their homes. And you can go onto the Purple Air map and view your location where you've installed your air monitor on a crowd map, and you can see other people who have installed an air monitor around you. And it's able to collect data every 120 seconds, and because it's connected to Wi-Fi, you can see it right away. So what's been done so far within our team around these parts, but not here at Fairmount Heights yet, is we have built a pretty strong community university government partnership with the town of Cheverly. My colleague Vivek was the one who had spearheaded that whole project. And we led this endeavor through authentic community engagement, where we focused on being culturally competent, building trust, attending to power inequities, attending to conflicts, and evaluating and tending to community capacity, which we hope and what we will bring to our engagement with Fairmount Heights as well. And through that involvement, we were able to create a community advisory board who are able to then come together to figure out where in the community these monitors should be sited, and being able to bring up different research questions or issues relating to policy that they'd like our assistance in our knowledge, and providing the data and the tools for them to advocate for themselves. And so here are some community members or community scientists and our team installing these purple air monitors on their homes. And this is the resulting map of all of those purple air monitors we installed in Cheverly. All those purple dots are the monitors, the low-cost monitors, and you see how important it is to have these because you see all those little icons showing the industries. These are all potential polluting sources. So the community is now armed with the tools to be able to capture what is really going on. And the overall findings was that the Cheverly PM 2.5 levels were mostly below the daily and annual EPA standards, but they exceeded the WHO annual standard. The WHO, or the World Health Organization, they have a more conservative standard. It's like lower, where they believe that there are health impacts at a much lower exposure to PM 2.5. The EPA, which is from the US federal government, have a little bit higher standard. And we saw specifically morning rush hours, saw elevated peaks, which indicated, heavy traffic and diesel trucks may have been the source. And we did see, based off of our statistical analysis, that we were able to get a very well spatial distribution and a fine enough distribution of the air monitors to be able to see what the differences were between each block. And so our rationale to expand into Fairmount Heights started off in May 2022. The past mayor of Fairmount Heights with the mayor of Cheverly and Seat Pleasant, they joined forces and protested a proposed DC bus yard that was going to move into this area. And I believe one of the mayors had even went ahead and installed an air monitor at her home to be, armed with the data to fight back. But also at the end of the day, Cheverly is still a ways away from here, and it can't represent what's going on here in Fairmount Heights around the corner. So this would be a misclassification bias if we were to say, oh, okay, we're fine, we got Cheverly, and we didn't get these areas as well. Yes. So at the beginning of July 7th, I believe, the mayor, Mayor Stewart, agreed for us to install an air monitor at her residence, which is located at this red circle. Please let me know how much time I have.
5.
Okay. Which you can see here. And above all those little yellow of the monitors above Fairmount Heights is the Cheverly monitors. And you can see all below through Seat Pleasant and the rest of Fairmount Heights, there is no monitors at all. So she was the first one to start off this network that hopefully you all agree to. And so this is the data that we got from the monitor at her residence, where we could see that PM 2.5 levels were well above the WHO guidelines every day, and the PM 2.5 level exceeded EPA standards on Thursdays specifically. She did say that she resides close to a recycling center.
A junkyard.
A junkyard. So I'm curious to see what their maybe transporting schedules are, because that was very alarming to me. And I didn't pull even the full month of data. This was only like from July 19th to August 2nd, but I'll be sure to send a more updated and more data to you all who are interested. So our approach is to start off with community mobilization and long-term monitoring by coming to whatever community areas where community are gathering, so that we can expand our community advisory board, and we can host community science training workshops where they can learn more about these purple air monitors, and where we can start figuring out where are the best places to site these air monitors. And then from there, in addition to whatever interest the community may have in analysis, we like to identify the number of hours and days when pollution values exceed the World Health Organization daily and annual guidelines, because from there we can actually make some noise as to what needs to be really changed, and what the EPA and local government shouldn't ignore. Yes. And we like to disseminate the results to the community members, to policymakers, health professionals, and through multiple formats. And we will be engaging with local stakeholders that we have previously partnered with, like Prince George's County Council, the Health Department, Department of Environment, EJ Commission, MDE, MDH, and the Mid-Atlantic Justice Coalition. And we want to make sure that at the end of the day we can translate this research into action, and it's not just to show and cross our arms, so that communities that are really suffering don't continue to suffer and to be sacrifice zones. Okay, so I'd like to propose, if anyone has any questions, please share. But our ultimate goal is to have the council members and the mayor, once you deliberate, to agree if you would be able to join a MOU with us, and an understanding of our engagement with the community, and collaboration in the future.
So you mentioned in your report the monitor for $249. I thought you guys were installing.
Yes, but we install them for free because you're within the area that we're doing all the work in. But it's just for your personal interest and use. But anybody in this room who resides in Fairmount Heights or Sea Pleasant or anywhere within the region of Central PG County, we can install an air monitor for free.
And you said you need Wi-Fi and a power source?
Wi-Fi and a power source, and if there's an issue with that, then we have some solar panels we can install, like little ones, not like big, or we can, what else? If you don't have Wi-Fi, we can just put a little, the little reader, like
SD card.
an SD card, sorry. And we would have to go to the site, get it, and put it in a computer to read so you won't be able to see the data in real time, but we can still collect data that way.
And how long would the monitors be, if people are interested, how long would they be in a person's yard?
For as long as you would like, but the longer is better. At least if we can capture a year's worth of data, that would be good, but if it needs to be a shorter period of time, that's totally understandable. But that's something we can discuss together before installing.
And is there a rebate or a monetary incentive for doing this?
There isn't an incentive for this project. We are considering and trying to figure out through the people who monitor our grant work is to reimburse a certain amount of your power bill, for example. We don't expect this to be pulling that much power from your electricity, but if that becomes to be a concern, then we can. But at this point, no, there isn't a financial incentive.
Does anybody else have any questions? I'm sorry.
You'll be leaving your card.
Sorry?
You'll be leaving a card at a place contact.
Yes, I'll be leaving contact information. I have some flyers to share with the community to see if anyone would be interested in being a community advisory board member.
One question I have was, do we have to enter into the MOU before you participate, or how is that?
Yeah, that is the way we like to operate, just
Okay.
in respect of the community, and to make a true collaboration with the whole town and with y'all. And we can make longer strides with your collaboration at the end of the day, so,
Okay.
yeah.
And when would you need to hear back from us, maybe, because we won't meet again until September?
I mean, if you need to wait till September, that's fine, yeah.
Okay.
We could do
Okay,
that.
okay, and so I just kind of wanted to ask a clarifying question for understanding for anyone who may have missed it. So we are pretty much asking to be in a partnership to kind of have people test out these monitors. These monitors are providing the air quality from a closer standpoint, because the true ones that are instilled are over 20 miles away, they aren't accurate. By us having people volunteering to get these monitors, this helps you guys to be able to get a better quality index, to see where the pollution is, to do research to potentially help reduce that pollution, I guess, over time by
Yeah.
partnering with these different companies that you guys have mentioned.
With all the policy and agencies, Maryland agencies.
So do we have any cases already where you guys have been able to actively reduce any pollution, or is this something that kind of happens long over time, just trying to get the understanding of how quickly? and
Yeah,
slowly
it might take time, but there we have a good case in Bladensburg. I can share more information with you. There was talks of them opening a cement creating facility in their town, and we were able to assist them to stop that.
Gotcha.
So yeah, there is some change can happen, but the first step is having that strong data so that we can actually, put the books down and be like, look, this is what's actually happening. Even though the community has been knowing how it feels and what's really going on.
And would the hope be, or could there potentially, if there are already currently businesses that are over polluting or have certain causes of extra pollution, would this data then be able to come back to try to reinforce things with businesses that are already existing in our communities? Okay.
Yes.
That's all I have.
How long have you said Shepley has had it working?
I believe it's been a year. Network, they've been going for a year now.
Okay, and once, or if we were to agree to giving an MOU, how long after can we have participants, come aboard? You said it's free.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's my understanding there is no cutoff or
Okay.
deadline.
Immediate.
Sorry?
It would be able to be immediate. Say we did an MOU,
Mm-hmm.
just for instance, today came into agreement that it was to come.
Yeah.
You could set it up today for what will be done within the week, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're ready. Yeah.
And they will bring a number of students with them.
Yeah.
I'm so
we-
sorry.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is C Pleasant signed an MOU?
C Pleasant, I think we're still in the works with them, trying to get a response. I have to follow up with my colleague. He was working with them. But we even had one resident in C Pleasant who was interested, was really active. We did have also the Fairmount Heights Library was interested and agreed. Since they're separate from you all, we just engaged with them. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Very informative.
Does any citizens have any questions about this program?
Does the device need to be installed up front or in the back? Doesn't matter? I'm just thinking of the specifics.
Yeah,
The power source.
We don't want to put it directly under any concentrated source, if it's in not close to a garage where you think a car will be idling all the time or something like that, or an exhaust.
Couldn't do it on the
But
front.
I believe it would be best for it to be in the front, maybe facing a road, so you can capture what's going on. But in the back, the mayor's residence,
Mine
it
is
was
in the
in the back.
backyard.
If you don't want it to be in the front, that's fine, yeah.
Yeah. And away from your air conditioned equipment, so, but close enough to attach to your Wi-Fi. Okay, connect, so, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
I'll leave those flyers in the front.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right. The next agenda item under new business is the Civic Plus contract renewal. Mr. Rumi? The Civic Plus contract renewal, you're on the agenda. You've already talked about it in your report, so.
Almost. I just need to, haven't had a chance to wrap it up, but.
I think before we can finalize anything about the Civic Plus and the contract renewal, I really need to present this before town treasurer, because this is actually the fact that you already approved your budget. And so that means the amount that they're asking for may exceed the budget. So perhaps you and I can have a side discussion tomorrow, and I can give the mayor feedback on that. Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else on
No, it was just on the agenda. Thank you. All right, so the next agenda item is the 6 months leave of absence of Councilmember Oscar Gilmore. We did hear back from the attorney. I don't know if the council has had an opportunity to review his response. However, basically, he said, and I'm paraphrasing, pulling up the email, give me 1 second. Does somebody have it readily available? I call myself being. Okay, I found it. So basically, the attorney's response was that he reviewed our charter, and there's no provisions that automatically terminates a council member Oscar's seat. Many municipalities have provisions that require removal after missing consecutive meetings. However, pursuant to Section 1-29A of our charter, he could be subject to a recall by the residents for not attending 3 consecutive meetings. Please note that section makes no exception for excused absences granted by the council. Accordingly, while his leave of absence does not automatically terminate his seat, he would be exposed to the potential efforts to remove him by residents through a recall election. And then finally, his agreement to forfeit his stipend will not be adequate defense to prevent a recall. So the council has this information in their inboxes. At this point, I just believe, in his email, he said he would give up his stipend, but he's not here tonight, so we can't really ask him, does he plan to attend the meetings remotely? We don't know if he'll be able to attend the meetings remotely. So I guess it's really up to him on whether or not he's going to forfeit his stipend until he returns, or will he continue to collect it and just call in remotely to the meetings?
He said he would he doesn't want the stipend. He wants the stipend to stop.
Yeah, I would have to.
Okay, but that's what he said.
I mean, I know what his email said, but
Yeah,
we
said
didn't know. We had to
want-
wait for the attorney, so we just basically trying to determine if he's going to be able to attend any meetings, or if he plans to attend any meetings while he's out. Because if he does, then is he entitled to a stipend or is he not? So I guess we'll table this conversation until he returns, or until we can hear back from him. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, from what you're saying, he will be given his stipend until he returns, and then if he didn't want it, he turned it back in.
No, that's not what I said. I'm basically saying that it's up to him whether or not he's going to continue to collect his stipend.
That's what I'm saying. He's out the country, so.
Is he going out of the country or is he going?
Yes,
Oh, he's going. Oh,
he's
okay.
out of the country. He said the day that he was here, that he would be deployed to where he has to go, and it would be at least 6 months. And he didn't want the stipend or anything. He didn't want to give his position up on the council. But he was willing, the stipend and all that could just stop. He didn't have a chance because the last meeting was when he said it, sitting right here. So you won't speak to him till he returns.
Oh, he already gone.
Is he gone?
Oh.
I
Okay, I thought it was a future
It's
date.
soon, but he said he wasn't coming here because his deployment is right after this meeting.
Okay, that's
And he
the
didn't want
21st or
anything to
something.
put his mindset somewhere else with what he know he's dealing with and is not at liberty to talk about it.
Okay, we don't need particulars on the
Well,
nature
I'm
of his
just telling you
deployment.
about
I'm
the
just
money.
saying that
He didn't want it.
we just have to figure out if he's stopping his stipend and is he going to be able to call into any meetings, just for clarity. Okay. So we'll table it. I'll send him a follow-up email to find out specifically what he wants. He's on the email chain, so we'll table it until we hear back from him. Any other questions, comments, or concerns about that?
I did. I had sent a follow-up email as well, just kind of giving perspective, because if he could do virtual meetings, it's only, 2 basically a month. If he could, was that all that was required? Just for us to know personally, because I would want to know that myself. So does only attending the meetings entitle you to a stipend, or would you also be entitled to do some type of work under whatever, your department is? Or would you just have to attend the meetings to be able to be qualified for your stipend?
I think that's something the entire council needs to review and I guess provide input on.
Okay.
I would think you would work with your department, and so like for him, host events, do other things, and to include attending meetings to receive your stipend. But
Right.
there's nothing in the charter
Charter
that
that actually
says
says that.
you have to do X, Y, and Z to receive a stipend. It just says
Okay,
the recall process, if you missed 3 consecutive meetings, you're subject to a recall. It doesn't really specify what you need to do to receive a stipend.
right. So I think the easiest.
Councilmember Wood Dawson, do you have any input on that?
No comment.
I'm just saying,
Mm-mm.
has it ever been discussed before?
In regard to what's being done now?
No, not what's being done, meaning what are the criteria to receive a stipend?
In order to receive a stipend, for the most part that I know, is just being active in your duties. I've never been in this position. We've never had, in my 18 years, anyone deployed or anything, unless it was medical. We've been here.
Okay, all right,
That's across the board, so this is something new.
okay. Thank you for your input.
You will.
All right, the next agenda item is resignation of our clerk to the council, Dr. Arlene Spann. And this is Councilwoman St. John.
All right, I'm gonna get my earphones back in for the Zoom people. Hello, everyone. So we kind of touched on this last week in the work session, but just wanted to officially announce our set-in information on Dr. Spann, putting in her letter of resignation. So Dr. Spann's last day with us will be September the 1st, and she has been with us for quite some time off and on. So Dr. Spann started off with us in the early 2000s under the Mayor Lily Thompson's administration. Next in 2020, she was asked to apply for the 2020 Census Program Coordinator, also under Mayor Lily Thompson's administration. Then she was asked to submit an application to return back in 2021 as the clerk to the council under also Mayor Lily Thompson's administration. and finally ending that administration with us and Mayor Akiba Stewart. So we just wanted to take the time to thank Dr. Spann for all her contributions, everything that she has done. We are definitely saddened that she's going to be leaving us, but happy that she is venturing off on new endeavors to help her family and start growing their business. So hopefully we get to see your face around to visit us, give us some guidance from time to time, but just wanted to officially let everybody know. Make sure you stop by and say hello or congratulations to her before her last day, September the 1st.
Yes, Dr. Spann, you will truly be missed. Thank you so very much for everything you've done for the town.
And then it's,
Oh, yeah. So some people in the back over there said we're not accepting your resignation. I kind of agree with them, but hey, when she don't show up September 2nd, we gonna know the truth, right? All right. Does anybody, any of the staff or the citizens would like to say any kind words to Dr. Spann? Yeah, this is officially your last meeting. Don't y'all all, anybody?
Well,
No?
I already,
Mike, please.
I already sent Dr. Spann a message, but I did want to say to Dr. Spann in front of everyone else, thank you so much. It has been a pleasure working with you. I think we have gotten to know each other both professionally and personally. So I will continue to keep you in prayers. As Councilmember St. John said, I'm thankful that you are doing something that's near and dear to your heart, but you will never be too far from our hearts to come and be a part of what we're doing. So thank you all that you've done. Love you.
And for the record, Dr. Spann did send an email and said she did not want a celebration. However, she was supposed to be sending me some information on a parting gift from us, so she's going to send that information, and we'll make sure we get that gift for her. Thank you. Does anybody else have anything? Oh, come on.
Dr. Spann, I do not have the history, the historical background in working with you, but the short time that I've worked with you, I realize that we have so much in common at a personal level and at a business level. It's been a real pleasure working with you. It's been a real pleasure for me to empty my heart sometimes when I have similar situations to deal with. It's been a real pleasure. Gonna miss you. However, I do have your number. I know where to reach you.
Now, Dr. Spann, would you like to say a few words?
Well,
Yeah, come over to the mic, Dr. Spann.
Well, first I want to thank Councilwoman St. John for reading that, and I actually started under Mayor Saxon's administration with then Chief Crafton was his name. I came in actually under the police department at that time, so and then gravitated to the other positions. But I do want to say that for the most part, I am a family person. And for years, you all don't know this, but for years I had my own school. And for years, so I'm going back into that now that I'm a great-grandmother, great-aunt, and all of that. They're all asking, because you don't know this, my children were homeschooled. My nieces and nephews I homeschooled to a certain level. And now they're requesting, okay, you did that for them. Your daughter was able to graduate high school early, really at the age of 15, went on to college and things like that. And, and all of them are doing well. So now it's breaking out to the next generation, which now is our third generation, of making sure that they are rooted and grounded as well. So when that position came and that the family asked, I thought about it and I said, these are my great-grandchildren. Let me give them the same opportunity that was afforded to not only my own children, but my nieces and nephews as well, and a couple of other people in the neighborhood. So I just wanted to let you all know that, yes, you'll be seeing me at events and things like that, probably with a whole bunch of kids. So, Chief, when you have, you saw the one at National Night Out.
yes.
So you saw him, but you might see a few more coming when I come to the event. So I will be around, it's just not in that capacity. So thank you, Mayor, Council, Chief, all of you for what you've done to help me along in the positions that I've had here and held here at the town of Fairmount Heights. And thank you, citizens, for even allowing me to be here as such. Thank you.
Thank you. That's why you know me. All right, next agenda item.
Still me.
The retirement of Ms. Tucker. And this is also Councilwoman St. John. You got a lot of things on this agenda tonight.
Okay, so unfortunately, Ms. Tucker is not here with us this evening, but hopefully everyone has heard more sad or bittersweet news, rather, that Ms. Tucker has decided to retire. Her last day with us will also be September the 1st. Ms. Tucker, before coming to the town of Fairmount Heights, spent 27 years working for PG Community Hospital, and then she started with us. So during her 19 years, she has served under several different mayor's administrations, and we will be celebrating her this Sunday by hosting a celebratory retirement brunch. This brunch will be taking place from 11 to 2 p.m. It is open to all. We'd like to get RSVPs. You can do that either through our email, by calling the phone number. We also have it on social media channels. So if you can, please, just so we can get an idea of how many people we're expecting in the building to make sure we have accommodations for everyone, please join us on Sunday to say goodbye to her. If not, make sure you stop by, send her kind words as well. But we will miss her dearly, and that is all I have.
Thank you. So don't forget RSVP, and we'll see you. What's the date again?
The 20th, Sunday the 20th. That is Sunday, August the 20th. This Sunday coming up from 11 to 2 p.m.
Okay. Thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions? All right. So now we're down, so we had to move the approval of minutes down to, before our reports. I will accept a motion to approve the meeting minutes from June 13th, work session, June 21st, town meeting, July 11th, work session, July 18th, council meeting, July 19th, town meeting, August 8th, work session. I'm sorry, yes.
August 8th work session, that one, you don't have all of it. I have to send that to you, like,
Okay. So, we will not have August 8th. I'll accept a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll do it, but do I got to say all the dates? You say yes? Okay, I got to get used to this. I make a motion to approve the approval minutes for June the 13th work session, June 21st town meeting, July 11th work session, July 18th closed meeting, and July 19th town meeting.
Can I get a second, please? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. All right, so now we're moving down to mayor and council reports. I will start, let me pull my report up. All right. Thank you for your patience, everybody. All right, so my report for the month of August. Meeting with Congressman Ivey on August 15th, Chairman Barnhart and I attended a meeting hosted by Congressman Ivey. He discussed supporting funding at the federal level for gun violence and funding a criminologist to study the root problem of the spike in crime. He also discussed a GoCap organization. They will assess all the state and county programs related to stopping violence to determine what's working, what's not working. The assessment will also determine where the state and county should reallocate or allocate their resources. He said he will follow up with us once he knows more. PGCMA That is the Prince George's County Municipal Association. It's a membership organization of 27 municipalities in Prince George's County that offers networking and leadership development. Based on the information received from PGCMA, the town of Fairmount Heights has not attended a meeting in over a year. In defense of the new council members, we were not made aware of PGCMA until right before June's MML conference. To ensure we have representation, I'm creating a schedule amongst the council members to start attending monthly meetings starting in September. I'm requesting that at least 2 council members attend those meetings, so we'll just like rotate. Events on August 5th, I, along with several council members, members of Public Safety and Public Works, all attended New Abundant Life Ministry Baptist Church Community Day event. They provided book bag, clothes, and food to the community. I had a great time, and we were able to network with key people to help the town with economic development and community engagements. I want to personally thank Reverend Halt for the invite, and I welcome him and his church to the community. On August 12th, Vice Chair Barnhart and I attended the mayor of Hyattsville, Mayor, how does he say his name? Crossland? He had a sip and dip event. This was a great networking opportunity. We met with Ms. Goodall and other municipal mayors and council members, and they provided us with some great tools and ideas to help us move the town forward. I encourage the council to attend the various municipal sponsored events, as it will help you and us grow as a council. August 16th, Fairmount Heights Senior High School hosted a block party. It was a back-to-school event to provide hygiene products, uniforms, and school supplies. While I couldn't attend the event because I had a scheduling conflict with the meeting with Congressman Ivey, I did buy items to support this event that Mr. Cradle will drop off tomorrow for me. House fire. In late July, former council member Andina Keith's house caught on fire. Thankfully, her daughter, and the dog were able to get out of the home safely. However, she did lose a cat in the house fire. The town is offering support while she deals with this issue. They've already started the renovations, and she will hopefully be back in her home very soon. I personally would like to host a community housewarming celebration once she's able to return. Net Zero. On July 25th, I met with Stephanie Prange, the Deputy Director for HIP, in reference to the Net Zero construction project for 715 to 725 60th Avenue. She explained the project. She provided updated status on it. The project was delayed because they couldn't obtain all the necessary county permits. They have since obtained everything, and construction is slated to begin in the next few months. The groundbreaking ceremony is scheduled for October 13th at 10 a.m. I plan to be in attendance, and I invite the council and any residents who would like to attend to come out. Update on the digital boards. We had an appointment with Pepco to give us a quote on the power source, but that was postponed due to the weather. We're in the process of rescheduling it. I will provide updates accordingly. Town renovations. Update as of August, we're in the process of obtaining the quotes to renovate the 2 bathrooms on the lower level of the building. Once we receive the required number of quotes, we will move forward with the selection process. As this project moves forward, I will update you accordingly. Town documents. I spoke with Attorney DeLoach about our outdated charter and town policy documents. We have 2 options. One, we can write what we want to add or change, and he reviews for legal sufficiency, or he can write up what we ask him to write up, and then we review. Whichever option we choose starts with the council reviewing each policy document and providing feedback on what changes need to be made. I will schedule a charter review meeting for September, probably late September. Update on the town lighting. I requested our Public Works Department identify all inoperable light posts throughout the town. The list was provided to the town manager. I sent her an email to follow up. This is a priority. Please have Pepco come out and repair our lights because it'll start getting darker. I know, I sent it to Mr. Room. As, you know, the time change, it's gonna get darker sooner. So we want those light poles operable. And again, I can be reached by email, mayorstewart@fairmountheightsmd.gov, or by phone 202-350-1944. And that concludes my report. Does anybody have any questions? Thank you. Vice Chair Barnhart?
I really don't have much to report. I spoke with Mr. Cradle, and I have been speaking about training for the public works staff. I would like to also get with the local churches in the community, as well as the lodge up the street, to actually come together and have our book bag events, because it seems like this church is having an event, that church is having an event, we're having an event, and collectively we're supposed to be a community. So I believe next year, I would like to coordinate community events with the local churches in the area. Mayor actually said most of my report for us, going to the sip and dip with the other mayors, meeting Mayor Greenbelt, Brentwood, Cottage City, and it was Highsville. Oh, to mention in your report for the mental, they also doing mental health from Ivy.
I did.
So they actually want to start funding in the communities for mental health for youth services to actually see what's going on with the kids. They're trying to place somebody in each community division to actually speak with the youth to see what's going on, because there's a lot of killing, car thefts, and a lot of stuff that's going on with the youth. And that's my end of my report.
Thank you. Councilwoman St. John? All right.
Okay, I would like to start just giving an update on our social media platforms. So everything for the most part now is up and running and functional. We currently have a town Facebook page, Instagram, and Twitter. I have gotten the information now for our YouTube channel and our cable channel, so it helps. I'll be connecting with Mr. Gray so that I can also get all the updates that we are currently providing to those channels, the Facebook, the Twitter, and the Instagram. We'll also have those communications going out as well on the YouTube page and the cable channel station. So right now, you'll be able to utilize these platforms as well mobilely if you can't get here physically, to be able to not only communicate with the town, get updates on what's going on with meeting and sessions, but also any community events, anything that's coming directly from PG County that we can find that is relevant. Just trying to provide you guys other resources for getting all the tools that you need. Update as far as the website redesign, that is still currently under construction. So right now we have approved the timeline for our completion project, which is going to be a little bit right before December. We don't have the exact date, but just mid-December is that completion date for there. Meetings have been established for each segment process that we have, and my next deadline is actually August the 18th, which at that time I am to present information to Civic Plus about the site's main page, what we want to be on that main page, our logo, and a form that I basically had to fill out with what we kind of want, slogans we may have, town logos, any pictures that we have that want to go on that site. So I've gotten all that information turned in, and then we meet to discuss those things on the 18th. And also kind of figuring out what the communicative team will look like. So again, gets sad, again, Dr. Span is leaving. She was a part of that committee, so with her very strong, tactics and follow-up, definitely need to find someone else that I can count on to be able to help support with that. So just kind of looking at what that team should look like, how many people we will need will be the next steps with that. Some information reminders, the announcement board. So we do have that whiteboard right at the front that can be seen without entering the building. So if any point someone may need any information, we do have that announcement board up there, so we'll try to make sure we keep that up to date with any information that you guys may need. The use of the blackboards, so we still are currently using the portable blackboards with the white lettering. Those locations are at the Ravine, and then that location up there on Addison Road. Our email address. Our email address is up and running. It is functional. We are replying within 24 to 48 hours. So if you cannot reach anyone by phone, that email address is info@FairmountHeightsMaryland.gov, sorry. And you guys can send any inquiries that you may have to us via email, and we will get back to you in that form of communication as well. Moving right along, we kind of touched on this already, but our past events, we had National Night Out, which was successful. We combined the book bag drive with that. The event was a great success. We had visitors come out such as Jolene Ivy, Sean Wilson. We had some delegates, people from Park and Recreations to come. We had vendors, face painting, moon bounces, and food. It was really a great time. And then also our community day that was held by the church, I'm sorry, it's very long, Missionary Abundant Life.
Yeah.
I know I'm missing a word, but they had an event, a community event where they had performances, ice cream, moon bounces, book bags. They were also giving away clothing, diapers. They had food and dessert, so that was a very lovely event. It lasted up until about 5 p.m. I think they had a group of people literally out until 5. And the community has lots of resources. As they mentioned already, we met with one of the young ladies from the Economics County Committee, and there was other great staff there. So we look forward to partnering with them in the future to basically further the town. Upcoming events. So we just mentioned the retirement brunch for Miss Joan Tucker. Again, that's going to be on Sunday, August the 20th from 11 to 2. You do want to RSVP. You can do that either by phone, email, or through any of our social media platforms. Also, back to school is coming right around, so lots of things going on in regards to backpack giveaways. So also on Sunday, August the 20th from 1 to 3, Bladensburg Elementary School will also be doing a book bag giveaway. There is a back to school block party also on August 20th. This one will be from 1 to 5, and this is going to be at Ritchie Station Marketplace in Capitol Heights, Maryland. This event, they do plan on doing giveaways, live music, performances. They invite you to bring your lawn chairs out so that you can sit and enjoy that with them. Lastly, the city of Seat Pleasant is inviting everyone out on Friday, August the 18th. They are having a movie night. That movie night is going to be from 6 to 10, and that is at the Birchleaf Avenue Park. Touching on back to school, it is tax-free week. Right now from August, it started August the 13th and it will run all the way till August the 19th. So any clothing that you guys want to get up to $100 is tax-free. Book bags up to $40. Once you hit any single item over $100 or any book bag over $40, it will incur taxes. But as long as you're under those amounts, all of that is tax-free this week. So if you haven't gotten your school supplies, you definitely want to do that to avoid those taxes. And then lastly, with the book bag update, we know everyone has been communicating that high school and middle school students are required to wear clear book bags. We did get communication last week that it is optional right now for middle school, and they're going to be evaluating that until the end of the first semester, which they'll determine if they are required to have the clear book bags or not. So they're strongly encouraging clear book bags for middle school students, but it will not be required. They'll reevaluate that. And that is the end of my report.
Thank you. Councilwoman Leftwich?
Okay, good evening, everyone. I just have a couple things that I just wanted to go over, and one would be, again, I'm just working with Councilmember St. John on the Ms. Tucker's retirement event on Sunday, August 20th. Also meeting with, I met with UCAP regarding the two projects within the town. That was on Thursday, July 20th, at their headquarters, 1400 Dowood Lane. And the two properties that we discussed was at 711 Eastern Avenue, which is actually, that project is put on hold as far as I know. And the second location was at 737, I believe it's, I don't have the exact address, the exact street. I think that's 60th? It's Addison Road, but the corner. 60th, 61st. Okay, so 61st and Addison. That is the location that they're going to actually proceed with. And that is slated to be a cultural center. It's actually a historic designation. And it will take some time actually to get everything started because it has to have the correct building materials that are historically accurate for that time. So a section of that building will actually have historical items in there that is going to be provided by the library, Prince George's County Library System, and they may have offices there and a few programs, but they haven't actually gotten to that point yet, but they just want to get the construction started. And actually, there is a possibility of funding to address exterior, properties on that street as well, but they will actually present that to the town at a later date. But of the two properties, again, the first one will begin at 737. Next is the fiscal year 24 street light and outdoor lighting efficiency program. I had a conversation with Briggs Cunningham on Thursday, July 20th, regarding the lighting in our town and how we can do a major overhaul with all of the light fixtures. And just to get an overview of the program, because I believe the applications will be available sometime in September. So I just wanted to get an overview on what we would need to do to even qualify. So one is that the lighting would have to actually be owned and maintained by the town. So that is a situation that I'm not sure of at this time, which lights we could identify for this program. But it will upgrade the existing lighting, and it would be a minimum of $20,000 per project that we propose. So how to determine whether we qualify, we need to have an energy baseline, which any contractor can tell us the actual wattage. And we have to check for a separate meter to see the usage and cost. So that was actually, the conversation I had with him was on July 20th as well. So this is a good opportunity to upgrade our lighting, even if it's just for our building and our parking lots. So the next thing was on Saturday, August 5th, I also attended the Community Day event with the Mayor and Council at New Abundant Life Missionary Baptist Church. And I met quite a few people while I was there. Also met with Kim Andrews, who exchanged information, and she invited me to the monthly meeting for the municipality's cooperative for economic development. And that is actually monthly by Zoom. So the next one will be next month. The first one that I attended was actually today. Next, the last thing is the ARPA grant. I am actually working on the program outline, and it should be done soon. I'm working alongside Councilmember Wood Dodson on that. Since this program was already slated, my co-chair would like to continue with the program, so we're going to propose something to the council in September. I couldn't get it finished by this meeting, but it's, again, the parameters surrounding the proposed program by the council would be a home repair program for seniors or disabled citizens of the town. Again, this program would be organized by Councilmember Wood Dodson and myself, which would give $1,000 in home repairs to currently 30 residents. I have to factor in if we don't have enough citizens that qualify and how we would address that. So we will get to that situation, but I need an alternate if we don't have enough residents to participate, because we have to have that funding used by a certain time frame. So several factors, again, that I am working on in this proposal. Several factors include the insurance requirements for the contractors, when and who the payment will be made to, identification as to what are the approved repairs, the timeline, the omission of town liabilities, and the timeline of repairs, along with any other matters that we need to address before we even get started. And this is going to be a time-consuming program, but again, this was put in place before I started, so we would like to not disappoint the citizens at this juncture. And also, I attended National Night Out. And that concludes my report at this time.
Thank you. Councilwoman Wadata?
Good evening. I attended the Abundant Life Community Day as well as Night Out. I also attended the event that was at the Oasis with Jolene Ivy and Malcolm Augustine in Cheverly in regard to communities working together and being collaborative with different things. They brought the knowledge of marijuana being given and allowed July the 1st, as well as the government buildings. You're not supposed to smoke within 70 feet of the buildings, not at all. That's a state law. They also gave incentive on different things that would be forthcoming into the community. I attended the community day with Abundant Life, coordinated with Pam Hawthorne at Reverend Hawk's Church, and she will be participating with the Citizen Association as well as a giveaway here in the town hall on the 30th, which a flyer will be presented and start going out now so it'll be known what we're going to do downstairs in the back from 3 to 7. It's a giveaway of what generally we do and have done over the years as far as kids that want to come out, whoever's, no restriction, and if it's food down there as well, we give it out. First Baptist Church is giving book bags out on the 18th of this month, and Newborn Church on 60th Place, they're giving out book bags on the 19th, as well as we have a representative here that works with Steny Hoyer, and he would like to give some information in regard to what's forthcoming by way of the congressman. So, Mr. Ben Nichols, we've been dealing with him with the town.
Okay. Does that conclude your report?
That's
Thank
good.
you. All right, so we'll now open it up to citizens' participation. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, while you
One.
were sitting there, a message just came in from the delegate about the retreat. And her question was, I need to know the time frame of the retreat, weekday or night. So that we can compare.
Okay. Okay, okay, so I guess we'll, go ahead, Councilmember Wood.
No, I'm just saying, with what I just gave you in regard to Steny Hoyer and in regard to the bull roast, Mr. Ben Nichols is sitting right there.
I understand.
Okay, all right.
I didn't
I
miss it.
didn't know you understood.
No, I understood. I
Okay.
just wanted to make sure we opened it up to everybody, citizens'
Okay.
participation.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so now we're gonna move to citizens' participation. Mr.
Yes.
You can come up to the mic and you have 3 minutes, sir.
I'm doing fine, thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Benjamin Nichols Jr. I'm the founder of the nonprofit organization Help Family Incorporated of America. I was raised in this area, and make a long story short, I know everybody in this community, and those people who reside in this community that are going on to do better things. I'm bringing them back to support my idea and proposal that I presented to the former Mayor Martin and to the new Mayor Stewart. I look forward to working with the police department, the churches, and the business in the community. All the elected officials from the governor on down know my intentions, and especially for me working in the town of Fairmount Heights. Even though I heard we have made progress, but we all got to come together in order for us to make things better. Now, what I wanted to say basically is that my position is, I'm concerned about the citizens from the youth up to our seniors. I have programs that have been laid out for years, and right at this moment, I never asked anybody for nothing, even though the elected officials who ran the county and the state, I never asked them for anything because I had a mission to do on my own. My mission is accomplished now. I'm putting everything out forward now and seeking help in terms of what I'm trying to do for our citizens. Help Family Incorporated is our organization. I incorporate this organization for everybody that's sitting here in this room and abroad. So I'm planning on working with Council Member Dotson on some matters, Board of Education, Fairmount Heights High School, and the Citizens Association from Sea Pleasant, Glen Arden is lined up for me, but I told them my preference here is Fairmount Heights first. So I hope we will stand up and make this a role model for all the other communities surrounding us, where we can branch out to the other states other than the state of Maryland, because like I say, this organization is Help Family Incorporated of America, and we are incorporated in a lot of states. And I have people, but I'm overwhelmed with what I'm doing, and I passed my bedtime, so I'm planning on putting my stuff in writing to Councilmember Dotson, and hopefully she will share it with the mayor, and the mayor will share it with the citizens, because I'm going to ask associations to recruit the Help Patrol boys and girls and senior participants. I will show you this document one time. I can leave it, but when I presented this, in fact, I probably present this to the chief of police. This document here is a basic document for our kids and the seniors, how we can work together. This document is not official. We can implement what's need to be on this. Anything I put out there, I'm looking for the citizens' support and suggestion as to how we can move forward better. Now, one of the requests I did want to ask, since I'm here, is whether or not the town would be interested in having an ARP safety driver class for the seniors. And if such, you can ask Councilman Dotson, and we can agree on a time and how many times and when you want to do it, and I will accommodate you on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anyone else, any other citizens' participation? Ms. Barnhart? I did ask. Did you guys have anything?
Good evening, everyone. Martez Barnhart, President of Citizen Association here in Fairmount Heights. We would like to announce that upcoming event for the Citizen Association, September the 30th, Citizen Appreciation Day. This is the event that's scheduled, like Councilwoman what Dawson just said, we're gonna be doing it here at the town on the 30th from 3 to 6. 3 to 6. This event is for the citizens of the town. We didn't have a community day, so this is replacing the community day. We believe that this year was a rough year. We had a recall, we had an election, and the citizens deserve to have a nice time. We do understand National Night Out was part of the community, but National Night Out, wasn't as big as we would like it to been as far as for the whole community. So that's what we would like to do, make sure that we do something that includes our Hispanic community, our, residents that, didn't know about the National Night Out, because a lot of people didn't know about National Night Out. So we want to make sure that we are putting out flyers in ample enough time where people are very aware of the event that's going on, so they can take advantage of it. So that is September the 30th from 3 to 6 here at the town. My next thing would be I got 3 minutes. I want to use it wisely. The Ethics Board. It's been mentioned before, the Ethics Board is part of our charter. It is a clear violation of our charter if we don't have one. In the past, we've been part of that process as far as the mayor. You guys put out an announcement in the community for people to come forward. You get 3 qualified candidates. It comes to the council. The council approves on these 3 candidates. Either they do or they don't. If you do, those 3 candidates go up as the election board, as the ethics board. If you don't, you go back out and find those members. It's very important that we have these things in place. Our election board, our ethics board, these committees are put in place so we all could work together, so we all can be on the same page, we all can be held accountable. You know what I mean? So that way that there is no mishaps. Because when we have mishaps, the town get punished in a way where as though it's bad publicity, as we know, because we done had incidents in the past, and we also get a lot of, backlash from the county about things not being done properly coming from Fairmount Heights. This is a new day, it's a new mayor, it's a new council. We got community involvement with different associations. We got a new chief, new police department. So we're doing things in a positive way. So we want to make sure we keep everything in decency and in order. My next question would be that budget-wise, Ms. Walker, this question is for you. You said we had $1.1 million budget for this year, correct? Okay. Revenue? Is that including ARPA money?
No, we already had the ARPA.
So that's separate? Okay. Do you know how much money that we spent now today? I know you said it earlier, but I didn't get it. Okay. So while Ms. Walker is doing it, the other question I had was for National Night Out. We had some concerns about National Night Out. Great event. I think it was an event that we can learn from, that we can do some things a little differently. And the reason why I'm saying it is because we had some citizens that were, thank you. That's it right there. We had some citizens that were concerned about not knowing about the event because we are so used to putting out flyers in the community. And like Councilwoman Wood Dawson just, showed you guys a couple of flyers, but this was from the church right here. This is for Ms. Tucker's brunch, and these are flyers that was put out in the community so people can know about these events. So National Night Out, we understand that was done through the Facebook, Instagram, things like that. So we had people that were concerned about, they didn't know about the event to take advantage of the resources as far as the book bags for kids. And the other thing was that how many people took advantage of that event? While Ms. Walker is doing it, anybody know what that, because I know we had a QR code that was there. Do we know how many people took advantage of that event?
No, we do not.
Can you pull that back up though from the QR code? I mean, that's we have a way to go back and look at it?
Yeah.
Okay. In that first box, how many book bags was in that first box, do we know? 24. So we gave out the entire first box, and then we opened up new boxes once they came. So at least probably over 30, but we'd have to, I guess, look at the QR code to see how many.
And the reason why I'm asking that question, because we had a budget for that event. And being as though we had a budget for that event, we should always have a count of how many residents took advantage of that event. It should have been a sign-up sheet, QR code. It should always be, so we know, so the taxpayers can know where the money went and how many people took advantage of that. So I would like to have that information once anybody get it.
So from my understanding, the only people that did the actual QR code would have been ones that got in the book bag. So are you proposing that every citizen just do the QR code when they come, no matter what?
It should be.
Okay.
Yeah, because, I mean, if we're giving away food and drinks and book bags and, you know, Italian icing and things like that, taxpayer dollars pay for that. So it should have been a QR code of how many residents took advantage of that.
Gotcha.
The last thing I would have is, I think that would be it. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Other than, I'm sorry, the last thing was, where are we at as far as the 2-month recess?
Oh, I removed it from the agenda. As I said to you, I spoke to Attorney Deloach.
Mhm.
All of our documentation is old and outdated.
Mhm.
So we're gonna be working as a council to get that amendment added to the charter.
Okay, so you guys might want to look into this right here. When you're changing the charter, you have to do a referendum.
Yep.
And doing a referendum, meaning that you have to have a town meeting with the citizens.
Yep.
So they're aware of that. And then that way,
I am aware.
okay. So we will be having a meeting about that.
Of course, we will.
Okay.
We'll have a participation meeting, we'll have a council meeting where we decide what we need to add, change, or modify, and all that information will be sent out to the community. We will follow the necessary steps that are also there and MML to make sure that citizens are notified of the changes.
The citizens are notified of the changes, or they are included with the changes?
Combination of both.
Okay. I can take that. All right, that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Question, real quick, I'm sorry. Ms. Woodhouse had a question first.
Not so much a question, but just to make sure, being that we're trying to be on one accord with what he said, as well as what should be implied, even though it's been forever. You know, this thing being repetitive about the charter is old. Every new administration that come in say, we're going to change the charter. What has to be understood this time, if the ulterior motive that everybody's trying to move in the right direction, with you changing it, it does have to go through a referendum. Any and everything we do sitting at this table should never be done without a citizen in the audience. Nothing. As far, every penny we spend comes out of one of our pockets, if it ain't but a dime, and it comes out to people. If you're not serving the people, you're not serving your seat. Along with that being said, when we change, alter, modify, or whatever with the charter, it has to go in a format. If it doesn't go down to legislative service and it be put in its right documentation, it's no different than we just will keep what we got. Because when I got here, and I've heard it, the seal, the charter is old as that. That can be changed, but it's the process. So in finding out what to do or how to do it, it needs to really be understood to make it be done in a correct manner, to where when we come together unified, then like the retreat that we need to bring us more on one accord, that might not be needed because we're already agreeing to disagree. and not feel that I'm better than you bigger than me, or we feed off to the community that is cliquish, or, we all came to make change. And that's how this charter is only going to change.
Okay, so the plan for the charter review is, I'm going to schedule a meeting, and then in that meeting, I will lay out the steps we need to take to make the changes with the charter and any policy document. I'll make sure those steps are clearly identified, along with citizens' participation.
Oh,
So-
it's no way we could do it without the citizens, because we're sitting,
I'm just,
I hear you.
I'm clarifying what you said.
Okay.
And what Mr. Barnhart said. When we do our charter review, citizens' participation is key. Can't do it without them, like you said, and I'll lay out what the rules and the steps are to make sure that it's changed correctly. And not a note in the charter saying this was not done, like the 4-year thing, from a 2-year to a 4-year term, it wasn't done correctly. So I'm gonna make sure any charter changes we make is done correctly with legal counsel.
But with everything that we're doing now, and what will help so that we don't dig a hole in our bucket and knock the bottom out, is to keep going. Everything, I don't need an attorney for everything. I might need an attorney on the back end to get me in trouble per se. But a lot of things that we are paying an attorney for is common sense. And it's 7 of us, now 6. Out of 7, somebody got to have some waywardness to say, I know what to do. Like you asked me about the Ethics Commission. I got as much as I could to pass it back. It's like playing ball. I can't play offense being defense. It's going to mess the game up. We got to know we are one body with many members, and just put it in that way.
Okay, so you're suggesting that, because the attorney gave us 2 options. One was to write up what we wanted, and then he'll review it for legal sufficiency, or to have him write it up. So you're saying for us to write it up and then provide it to the attorney for legal sufficiency?
And we might not need him for legal sufficiency.
It
What I'm
has to go
saying
to-
you asking me, we might not need him right at the end for legal sufficiency. We're moving in the direction of the retreat, and we are in different sectors with people in places that have been where we are. Long as we get to moving in the right direction with the right advice, some stuff will fall right into place if you're putting it in place right.
I understand what you're saying, but the same thing Mr. Barnhart said, with citizens' participation is
Yeah, with the
required,
citizens.
attorney review is required when you're doing charter reviews.
I got one last thing, so I can leave. So, National Night Out, it was a complaint that was made also, Chief, that, we have citizens that live around this area here, and we had one that was complaining about the music was too loud. Of course, we already knew who that was. We also had another complaint about activity after the event was over with that was in the parking lot. So, I'm gonna say it like this, that we are all representatives of this town. No matter what position you in, what you do, we are all representatives of this town and these citizens. It don't matter where you're at, where you going at. If anything hits, you're part of Fairmount Heights. So it was a complaint that was made that after the event, it was some activity going on in the parking lot. Don't know what was going on.
Define activity.
It said it was drinking.
That's not true.
So
That's not true.
I'm just saying what the citizen said. That's all I can tell you. So I'm just saying that if it was or if it wasn't, what is the law about drinking on government property?
It probably should be no drinking on government property. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Okay.
But somebody can't make an accusation without some type of proof.
Right.
Now, I stood in that parking lot waiting for that moon bounce guy to get there at 10:30 at night, and not one drop of alcohol was poured in front of me or anybody else. So whoever it is got the complaint, have them come see me so I can tell them it was.
Okay.
I was there.
Okay.
And the other part about that is, we hung signs all around the town of Fairmount Heights about National Night Out as well, along with social media. Now, if
The
we
flyers
spend a
did
little
go
bit
out
of
too.
money and get
Get
flyers
flyers
made
out.
up, we can do that next year. This is our first go around for everybody, so each year it should grow.
Right.
Everybody I talked to had a very good time. It was a very good showing. It was one of the better ones, spoken by the political people and the citizens who came out. Will we like more people? Absolutely. The other part of that is, if you're going to start requiring people to make them do the code to get in, you might not have people who want to attend. That's just like me stopping somebody and saying, let me have your ID. So if I got to take my phone and I have to scan, I might not want to come in. Because first of all, you can't make them scan to come in. I went to 16 community days this year, 16 community days around the county this year. It's not mandatory anywhere. If you walk in, you walk in. If you want to scan, you can. I understand about accountability, but you want to draw people in, not force them to do something. They don't want to come somewhere where you're telling them to do something. We just want them to come in, bridge the gap, meet and greet, talk a little bit, make them comfortable, but we're coming in and saying, hey, before you do grab a hot dog or a hamburger, you got to scan in. Thank you, but no thank you. I mean, I'm just telling you what it is. It's just like me coming up, stopping somebody coming down the street. Before you can go down the street, I need to see your ID. So we can say, look, if you don't mind or whatever, scan in so we can see who we're talking to, where the citizens are, if you have any additional problems, that's the way to go. But just to say that everybody who comes got to scan in before they can partake in the town's activities, I don't think that's right. That's just my opinion. I don't live in the town. I'm not a board member, a council member or mayor. You guys have to make that decision. But I'm a community person, and I know how people will feel if you're making them do something and they're coming to a free event that they live in the town. So
Thank you,
You're not making them, you're asking them. And the only reason why I say this, Chief, because in the past events, it's always been said that outside citizens come and not your own residents come. You don't even know if you're residents or outside citizens. So that's always been the issue.
That's always going to be the case.
Yeah, but if you do a QR code like we have in the past, we have done a QR code in the past at
I'm not
events.
telling you not to do a QR
Okay.
code. I'm telling you not to make it mandatory before anybody can partake in the activity. That's all I'm saying. That's just my
So
opinion.
our next event is Ms. Tucker's retirement party. Please make sure we have the QR code so we can account for everybody who attends. We
And-
can start there. And then that way we can provide Mr. Barnhart or the Citizens Association with the information about who came, the number, and the taxpayers' dollars that were spent.
And what that does is too, it gets you the phone numbers and emails to your residents, so when you want to send out stuff, as far as events and information, you'll have the information. That's the purpose of the QR code.
And that's assuming they give you the correct information.
There's plenty of people say, I don't want any of that stuff. I just want to come when I want to come. Give them the option.
All right.
So I'm sorry, before we move on, so just some comments to that too. So yeah, it'll help us gauge a better number, but even with the book bags, I had some challenges with some of the people from the Latina community not understanding, not being able to get their phone up to scan the code. So, I mean, while we can get it, we'll never get a true actual number, but
Right, but we
can get
will
close.
attempt.
Doing the coat drive where
Right.
it was a little difficult with the QR code with them scamming, and Ms. Dawson was there as well. When we had Hispanic people come in, and it was difficulty with them using the phones, we're not gonna turn them away from giving them a coat because they can't
That's
scan in
what
their
I was
phone.
gonna say. I've given an alternative. We always had paper. And most of the time it's a sign-in because a lot of times the older Hispanic culture or different cultures, they bring little kids. So most of the time it's the little kids that's our friends and they're filling in the paper. But it does give you checks and balances for who's there. When you have the next thing, you can call the house, the grandmother and everybody come. You get a better turnout.
Okay, so, do we?
You give them an option,
I'm sorry,
QR
Dr. Span,
code
go
or
ahead.
sign in.
I'm sorry, Ms. Woodall.
I'm not in the mic, but you might want to just reiterate this. Who is gathering the data from the QR code?
Right.
Because I haven't been
We
getting,
don't
Councilwoman Brianna White.
so, because I haven't been getting.
She said in the
I
previous
haven't
meeting.
No,
Okay,
same.
all right, I'll reach out to her to see if she can provide that information to us. I'll send her an email. So do we have any more citizens that would like to participate, ma'am?
Yeah,
You have to come speak in the mic.
I'm not sure if this is
How are you?
Thank you.
Please state your name.
Yes, my name is Patty.
Oh, Ricky. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Patty Calvo, and I'm on 61st Avenue, 727 61st Avenue. My husband and I bought that property back in 2015, and we've been working on it for a while, and it's almost finished. And I'm not sure if this is the right place to be, but I was here last week, and I spoke to Inspector Pinckney, and he asked me to come here because there was going to be a meeting and ask you for a letter that I need to have for the Board of Appeals is inquiring, is letting me know that there is a lot variance in my property, and that I need to provide them with a letter from Fairmount Heights before they can approve the lot variance. So I'm not sure if this is the right place to be, but I'm here because Inspector Pinckney mentioned that I should
Okay.
come.
Is there, I'm not real versed on what you're asking.
Sure.
So would you send me an email?
Yes.
And I'll give you my email address on specifically what you need.
Yes.
Let us do a little research, and then what's the deadline?
Not
What's the timeframe?
until September.
Not till
I have
September.
until September, and yeah, he did mention he was gonna talk to you and mention to you my case.
Okay.
But I know that was just like a few days ago, and I know he's gonna be out, so yes, I will do that.
Okay,
I will do
I'll
that.
give you my email address, and then let us do a little research, and then we will have a follow-up answer for you.
Very good. Thank
Okay?
you.
Thank you
so
for your
much.
time.
Thank you.
All right. Are there any more citizen participation? Anybody online? We're just checking online to see if anybody had a question. All right, I will accept a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second. Who second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, I just saw this. Let me know.
Thank you, Doctor.
Oh, no, I asked. Reason and, thank you.
I know, it is. This was Miss Gloria, and we did.
Veteran Memorial.